You take care of everyone, but who is taking care of you? You push through the exhaustion, ignore the brain fog, smile through the hot flashes, and keep going on. But deep down, you know, something needs to be changed. Welcome to the Samir Show. Today's episode is a heartfelt invitation for every woman who ever felt tired, out of balance, and disconnected from her own body. I'm joined by the Claire Cavalieri, a Harvard certified wellness coach who helps the woman reclaim their energy, restore their health, and live with a purpose, no matter what age. It's helped been struggling with the hormonal chaos, menopause shift, mental burnout, or just feeling like if you are lost of spark. This episode is for you because your health matters, your joy matters, and it's time to put you back on your priority list. So stay tuned, the Shami Show. So hello, Claire. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Samir. I'm great. Happy to be with you today.
Yeah, and this is a really excitement for me because this is the second part that we are going to record today. And
Yes.
this episode is especially all for the women and all older people, I can say, that who are complaining about the aging, about the menopause, about the mental health. So today I'm going to ask about all that questions related to that. So my first question is about the menopause. So many women are try to having the problem of the menopause. So can you just brief about what is a menopause and how can the woman prepare their body to mind for the smoother menopause transition?
Well, menopause is when the woman's reproductive system shuts down,
Okay.
basically. And it is when a woman's hormones are depleted, especially estrogen.
Mhm.
A woman's first, it slows down. It doesn't shut down all at once. And first, a woman's reproductive system goes through perimenopause.
Hmm.
That's like the beginning.
Hmm.
And uh, that usually takes, believe it or not, about 10 years
Mhm.
before menopause begins. So I can only speak for myself and not all women because it's very different for every single woman. Like for me, I started perimenopause when I was 40. And then I did not hit menopause until I was 50. But those symptoms of menopause begin um, about 10 years, there's about a 10-year span
Hmm.
where the estrogen, all the hormones begin to shut down, especially estrogen.
Hmm.
And when that happens, a woman begins to experience the symptoms of menopause, such as mood swings,
Mhm.
um, hot flashes at night. Um, she might experience vaginal dryness.
Mhm.
She might experience um, things that she experienced when she was pregnant, if she ever was pregnant, like food cravings.
Hmm.
She might start gaining weight. That's very common. Or not being able to lose weight like
Mhm.
she did when she was younger because the metabolism starts slowing down. It's a huge, huge change in a woman's body. And estrogen is a large controller of that metabolism slowdown. It's it's a it's really hard on a woman's body and emotionally and psychologically. Um, so, what can a woman do to prepare for that time in her life?
Hmm.
I would say to be in her best health. And the way she can do that is to eat a very nutritional diet.
Okay.
She can be and have a healthy body.
Hmm.
And that's by, aside from diet, is by exercising. She
Okay.
can exercise regularly, like at least 30 minutes a day.
So what kind of exercise that do you suggest for that?
I would suggest a cardio style of exercise at least 30 minutes a
Hmm.
day, such as a brisk walking
Mhm.
or jogging or swimming or cycling, something where you get your heart beating quickly, for at least 30 minutes a day, a minimum of 5 days a week,
Okay.
so that the cardiovascular system is strong. The bones are strong, because that is one thing when estrogen is starting to deplete or gets depleted,
Hmm.
it stops feeding the bones, and a woman is subject to osteoporosis. That's when the bones start to get brittle. That is something a woman needs to be very aware of as she approaches menopause, and she needs to take calcium and vitamin D3 to counteract that. And I'm sure she would be advised by her doctor
So are you
on that note.
asking women to take a supplement or the nutrition food? What are your
Both,
both?
both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I say the nutrition foods, that what kind of a foods that can help for the estrogen or for that maybe that mood swing that is also happening after the menopause, right? So what are the nutritions that you are suggesting your client?
Well, in particular, any foods that have a lot of vitamin D in them or calcium.
Okay.
Dairy foods have a lot of calcium in them. Also, fish,
Fish.
especially like sardines, anchovies. The small fish in the sea have a lot of calcium because they have little bones in them.
Okay.
So when you eat those small fish like anchovies and sardines, you're also eating the bones,
Okay.
and they have a lot of calcium in them.
Hmm.
So those small fish are really good. Dairy products are good for calcium and
Okay.
vitamin, and any products with vitamin D.
Hmm.
Um, so pay attention to those nutritious foods. But yeah, a doctor would advise a woman who is in perimenopause or menopause to take calcium and vitamin D3
Hmm.
and as supplements. But I'm not advising about supplements because that's not what I do particularly. But back to what can a woman do? Nutritious foods, exercise, and excellent sleep habits
Yeah, that's very
also.
difficult in today's now.
It may be, but it needs to be a priority.
Yeah,
Um, because when you feel rested, you feel better.
yeah.
And so that's a very important part of going through this period
Hmm.
of life, is to get rested and restore your body
Hmm.
every single day. Um, so that's an important piece of the puzzle
Okay.
to getting through this. It's a long period of time. It's at least 10 years
Hmm.
or more. Could be up to, 10, 12, 15 years that a woman
Hmm.
experiences this time in her life.
Hmm.
Um, so,
So being a woman that every stage of age, right? The hormonal changes happen in your body, right?
yeah.
So there are so many changes happening in your body. So how can your mindful and the stress management techniques that you support for the hormonal changes?
Um, Stress management
Yeah.
techniques.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many different kinds of stress management techniques to cope with life that can be applied to the same circumstances. It's whatever works well for that individual.
Hmm.
It could be exercising as a stress management technique, um, reading a book walking, meditation, having a cup of tea with a friend, playing an instrument, taking a warm bath, taking a nap, anything that just makes you happy and relaxes and calms you. It calms your mind, calms your body. There's so many different ways a person can just relax and get away from all the mental noise in your head. That works. It's all different for each person.
Yeah.
For me, I like to read. I like to take a nap, take a walk. I like to watch a movie. That's a good way of getting away from it. So everybody has to kind of find their own peace of mind.
Have you feel
So,
stress anytime?
pardon me?
Have you feel stress anytime?
Me?
Hmm?
Yeah, all the time.
So what did you do at that time?
Uh,
Everything you do at the time of stress.
I write in a journal.
Journal? Oh, okay. Any
Yeah,
specific subject or anything?
that's a very good way of coping with stress is writing. I write in a journal almost every morning.
Okay.
And I write down my thoughts, I write down my feelings. I will also call a friend on the phone. And if I have something particular on my mind that I'm struggling with, I'll call a friend and just get it out of my system, and then I feel better.
Yeah, it's having a good habit to write in journal because it's controlling your thoughts and your mind that what are you thinking. So at least whatever you're thinking continuously, that's make you feel down. That is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people get in the habit of that's called overthinking.
Correct. Yeah.
Or ruminating, and that's very common. So to write your thoughts down in a journal is a good way of expressing it and getting it out of your system, and then you feel much better afterwards. It's like, let's say you're really angry about something, but you don't want to take it out on the person you're angry
Correct.
at.
Yeah.
You can just, throw it out, throw up in a journal.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question is related to about the cognitive health. That what are the lifestyle habit have the biggest impact on maintaining the cognitive health as we have age, different kind of age.
Okay, say that again.
So what are the lifestyle habit every person should have that happen the biggest impact on maintaining cognitive health?
Oh, okay. What lifestyle habits should
Hmm.
people have to maintain good cognitive health?
Correct.
Well, it's much of what I talked about earlier. Uh, Declining cognitive health is like any other disease. It's caused by inflammation in the body. So to avoid inflammation, we want to do three main things. And that is to eat a nutritious diet regularly.
Okay.
The second thing is to exercise consistently. And it's what I mentioned earlier, which is to do some sort of cardio exercise 5 days a week for 30 minutes. That's getting up some steam and do some heavy breathing for 30 minutes. Like I said, some sort of like jogging or cycling or swimming, something where you're really moving quickly. And then also some restful sleep every single night for 7 to 9 hours. And that's routinely putting a real high priority on sleep. Those are the three primary things that you can do to reduce inflammation in the body, and that will contribute to strong cognitive health, just like it would any other, it would avoid any other disease like cardiovascular disease and cancer and diabetes. It will also help you avoid dementia and other neuro disorders.
Yeah, that was my next question about the dementia, that after the certain age, that the people are having the issue of dementia or the Alzheimer, I can say.
Yeah.
So what are the thoughts or how we can keep our brain healthy as we age to make a good decision in everyday lives?
Well, doing the things I just mentioned,
Okay.
like,
Exercise and the nutrition food.
yeah, yes. But in addition to that, we want to keep our minds really active.
Okay.
So as we age, we really want to keep learning new things, challenging our brains,
Hmm.
such as learning how to play an instrument or learning a foreign language or, doing challenging puzzles
Hmm.
or learning how to learn like the new technology. There's new technology coming out like AI, all this new technology coming out, and it's coming out every single day.
Hmm.
And it's very hard to keep up with, but there's so much that one can learn that, older people can challenge themselves by learning new software and how it operates. That's something that people can challenge their brains with.
I agree, but it depends on every person to person, right? Many person
Yeah.
don't want to learn anything. So the main problem that I saw, that many people or the many aged people have facing the issue about the loneliness. They don't know about how to tackle the loneliness. So
Yes, that's
if
true.
you are saying about the technology or solving puzzles, kind of anything, the problem is that they don't have many friends. They are not able to tackle the loneliness. So for that kind of people, what is the suggestions that you want to give them?
I would say that if they are lonely and they have no friends and they are feeling isolated, my number one piece of advice is to get a dog.
Okay.
And this is what I did when I broke up in a relationship and I had to move out of my old community, and I moved into a new community where I knew nobody. I was all by myself. I was lonely, and I was brokenhearted. I got a dog to keep me company,
Hmm.
number one, and also to give me good exercise. I had to walk that dog several times a day, but the
Hmm.
bonus was that I met all the neighbors because
Hmm.
all the neighbors also had dogs and they were outside walking their dogs.
Oh.
So it was a very quick way to meet my neighbors and to strike up conversations.
Hmm.
So that was the best thing that I ever did to quickly make friends and acquaintances in my new neighborhood and to get good exercise and get fresh air and get sunlight. And of course, the dog loved it.
Hmm.
So that would be my number one piece of advice. And the second thing that I did in those early lonely days, I had a friend who knew I was sitting home alone every night just watching TV. And I was just sitting here by myself watching cooking shows and bored out of my mind. And she kept saying, "Oh, Claire, you need to get out of the house and do something new. Why don't you take dance lessons?" And I was like, "No, I can't dance. There's no way. I don't know how to do that. It's not possible." This was only about 5 years ago or less.
Oh, okay.
I was scared. The truth was I was scared. I was afraid to meet new people. I was afraid to try something new.
Hmm.
And she kept pushing me and pushing me. And finally I said, "Oh, okay, I'll try it." And she had a friend who was a dance teacher, and had met him one time. So
Hmm.
I felt like, okay, at least I have met him once.
Hmm.
So I was willing to go. So I started taking dance lessons with him.
Hmm.
And believe it or not, I was able to dance a little bit and I liked it.
Hmm.
And then he started introducing me to other people. and going to dances. And to make a long story short, I met new friends. I entered the large dance community that is here in this city. And I met the man who is now my partner. And I've been with him for almost 4 years. And our whole social life is all about dance. Our complete social life revolves around dance. We dance several times a week, every weekend. And now I can dance pretty well. So,
sometimes,
but it took courage for me to step out and take a risk and try something new that I was frightened to do.
right,
So people have to be willing to take a risk, try something new, and get out of their comfort zone.
right. So there's another same thing questions about the transition of life, that after a certain age, like say after 60 or 68, that many people are retired. After the retired, till 68 age, they are working so hard, they were doing everything, but after 68, they suddenly stop working. So they got frustrated. So what are the first things that you suggest them to do right away after the retirement?
Take a vacation.
That's the best thing.
That's what I would do.
So what's your favorite location about the vacation?
Well, they need to, just take a break, relax, and rejuvenate themselves. But, not everybody likes to travel. I mean, I'm passionate about traveling. That's personally what I would do. But some people like to work around the house and, do remodeling. And so it's whatever appeals to them and gives them restored energy. That's what I would tell them to do. Something they're passionate about that restores their energy. And then also connect with the people they love, because that also it restores their energy. I think it's extremely important to have a strong and nurturing social network.
Yeah, you also believe that the community and the social engagement having the most playful area in overall well-being, right?
Yeah, I think that there are many, many studies that have proven that your health is better and you live longer when you have a strong, supportive social network.
So do you believe in gratitude?
Of course.
So how can the practicing about the gratitude or maintaining the positive outlook for your health?
I think that people have to be aware if they, some people may not be aware that gratitude is a very high vibration, and that when you are at that gratitude or appreciation vibration, that it gives you positive energy, and that when you are grateful every single day, that you are sending out positive energy to the universe, and that energy comes back to you tenfold. So when you're grateful, it is an energy that restores you. And so it's sort of a personal belief. I can't force it on anybody. All I can do is tell them what it does for me and maybe some other people. And then that's something they have to believe in for themselves. I don't know. What do you believe?
Yeah, actually, I always believe, because I'm also teaching my daughter having the gratitude every night or
Oh,
every morning. That
great.
so I'm also believing that the God gave you the eyes. Many people doesn't have eyes to see the world. So I ask my daughter, say thank you to God for each and everything that you make healthy, whatever you have, gratitude for that one. That's I am talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't have to be something big. It can be, I'm grateful for this cup of tea. I'm grateful for my cat. I'm grateful for this home I live in, and I'm grateful for, you know, the day that the sun came up. It can be just very small things because we have to pay attention to all the small things because the small things add up together, give us our life.
Exactly. But many people doesn't have the satisfaction. Nowadays, even the kids also, I'm talking about. I'm sorry about the taking a different topic, but this is a thought that I'm sharing. Right now, for the kids, it's difficult to teach them about the satisfaction.
Well,
Whatever,
I think it's important.
yeah, exactly. Whatever they have, they doesn't satisfied. They want more from the
Yeah,
world, right?
yes,
I'm not sure you have kids or not, but
I do. I have two.
okay. So do you face any kind of a situations in your life that you says that is enough for your kids, but your kids are rigid about we need something more?
I think that attitude is promoted with social media
Hmm.
because on social media, everybody shows all the great things they have, especially material possessions. And so it's very easy for people to want to compare their lives with other people's lives and what they have. So I think that that is a big problem with our society. Um, and I do think that my daughter gets wrapped up in that. I don't think my son does too as much because he's rather spiritual. My
Okay.
daughter is not. Um, so, but I kind of try to bring them down when I see them, like, oh, this little flower is so beautiful,
Mm.
that sort of thing.
Okay.
Because they kind of know that I'm woo.
Sometimes they believe that our strategy or whatever the thoughts that we have, that's outdated.
Yeah, that's right. Well, but yeah. Um, but all we can do is share our beliefs with them, and hopefully we're good role models for them
Yeah.
and introduce them to our beliefs, and they either accept it or they don't, or it may stick with them in the back of their minds, and later on it will arise in them later on. And that's what it did for my son, actually, because he picked it up later on in his life.
Right. Agree. So now back to the topic
Okay,
about the lifestyle, that how can the people develop the proactive mindset when it comes to their long-term health?
say that again. So important to avoid um, what's not good for you.
Hmm.
The foods like ultra processed foods, avoiding alcohol, also avoid smoking.
Hmm.
So avoiding the things that are toxic for you, and to be proactive is nutritious foods, exercise, good sleep, have a positive mindset, have a strong social network, and have a lead a purposeful life.
Hmm.
And of course, the things that we just mentioned, um, remain happy, which is going to come with strong social network because you're going to be happy.
Hmm.
And also gratitude. I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
So taking proactive steps means you've got to be consistent in leading, making a healthy lifestyle. You've got to be consistent.
Yeah. So about the smoking, I wanted to share one thing, that
Yes.
when my wife work in the Walmart, so there's a one particular mom and there's a kid around I think more than 14 or 18 years. I'm not sure about the age. So he asked about the cigarette. Okay. Now my wife asked about give me your any ID. So I wanted to know the age proof. Okay. So his mom said, take it on my behalf. So on my account. So take my ID. So don't worry about that one. It's not your job. Says told to my wife. So you say that when the parents are also encouraging their kids about having the smoke, so smoking,
Oh,
it's okay. So do you believe that? I know that many parents are having the smoke at home or somewhere else. So that's why the kids are also watching them, right? So they are learning that okay, this is okay to have it. There is nothing harm about that one. So what are the advice that you want to give that kind of parents?
if you smoke, it's highly likely that at some point in time you're going to get lung cancer.
Yeah,
That's what the statistics show.
yeah,
And if you get lung cancer, it's highly likely that you're going to die. That's all
definitely.
I can say, and that's if you let your kids smoke, then your your kids are going to get lung cancer and die as well. So
Yeah,
if you're that ignorant, then there's nothing I can say.
I agree. Have you ask your client about having the fasting?
There's many ways to do fasting.
Hmm,
First of all, fasting is healthy,
hmm,
and fasting will contribute to slowing down aging.
right. Okay.
And it can clean up all the damaged cells
Hmm,
in your system
hmm,
while the body is fasting.
hmm,
Um, it can kill cancer cells,
hmm,
but we all have cancer cells in our bodies all the time.
hmm,
And our immune system is cleaning up all kinds of damaged cells, including cancer cells, all the time. Fasting just gives our system more time to clean out the toxins.
hmm.
I don't know anything about this 70-hour period, but that may be one of the many ways of fasting. I happen to do the 16-8
Okay.
fast, no, 18-6, sorry,
Okay.
where I fast for 18 hours and then I eat for a 16 or 6-hour period.
No, okay.
And I do that every single day.
Hmm.
That's my fasting pattern.
Okay.
But there are all kinds of ways to fast. You can like fast for one day entirely and then eat and then fast for another day off. It's like one day off and one day on, or
Hmm.
you can fast for 3 days. I mean, there's just all kinds of fasting patterns. That one I'm not familiar with.
Okay. No worries. So how important sleep in overall aging process, and what are the tips do you have for the better sleep?
Sleep is vitally important.
Hmm.
It is extremely important to repair. What goes on when we're sleeping is the repair of damaged tissue. It regenerates our cells and it boosts our immune system.
Okay.
And so everybody should strive to sleep for 7 to 9 hours straight
Hmm.
every night.
Okay.
What can be done? I mean, I've got some tips. For example, going to sleep and waking up at the same time
Hmm.
every day.
Hmm.
So, like going to bed at 10 and waking up at 6
Okay.
every single day.
Hmm.
Sleeping in a cool room,
Okay.
like 66 degrees.
Hmm.
That's what they say. That sounds cold to me. My room is not 66, I can tell you that. Um, Sleeping in a very dark room, pitch
Okay.
black,
Hmm.
no light.
Okay.
Um, Sleeping in a extremely quiet room,
Hmm.
no sound.
Hmm.
Stop eating at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep.
Okay. Hmm.
It's because you don't want your digestive system activated while you are getting ready to go to sleep.
Hmm.
So even don't have any liquids 3 to 4 hours, no food three
Hmm.
to four hours before you go to sleep. Turn off all
Hmm.
blue light at least 1 hour before you go to sleep. That's all screens, TVs,
Hmm.
computer screens, everything because that activates your brain
Yeah.
too much.
Okay.
So before bed, I just do things that are very, very peaceful, like listening to quiet music, reading, meditation, anything that's preparing you to rest.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing.
So those are some tips I have.
Okay. There's a lot of buzz around reverse aging treatments. So what are your perspective on these trends and how can the people navigate them wisely?
You're talking about things like reversing aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some things that can be done that I'm going to start teaching soon in my new wellness reverse aging program. I haven't really put it out there yet because I'm still studying it, but it's things like, well, fasting, number one. These are things that there's only going to be a certain group of people that are willing to adopt these changes because it requires discipline.
Right.
So one will be fasting. Another will be calorie restriction.
Okay.
So eating less food less often. Another one will be only eating a vegetarian diet for the most part, maybe fish sometimes, but no red meat.
Okay.
Eliminating certain foods such as sugar, alcohol, foods that are high carbs like bread, and a lot of foods that are related to bread like pasta.
Okay.
Although they're making some pastas now that are actually healthy.
Okay.
And then
Whatever the food having the refined flour, that is not
yes,
healthy, right?
foods with refined flour are being eliminated.
Right.
And then taking certain supplements.
Okay.
Those would be resveratrol and one that's called NMN. Those are considered supplements that slow aging.
Okay.
And then, now this I'm not sure about, but hot and cold therapy are considered slow aging strategies, such as getting into situations where your body is cool.
Okay.
Or your body is warm, like a sauna. Cool therapy would be like, now cryotherapy is very big right now. I'm not going to do that, but it's very big. But cooling your body to a lower temperature slows aging.
Okay.
And hot therapy does the same thing.
Okay.
So these are some reverse aging strategies that are trending. And they're not just trends, they are actually studied, verified, and are actually, I think, are going to be, they're going to be published out there more and more for the public to learn about. And I think some certain groups of people will adopt them. Some people won't because they're going to require discipline, like
exactly.
fasting and calorie restriction. Some people are not going to want to do that.
It's difficult to having the calculate the calories also, right? How many times that we're gonna calculate the calories? It's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really the Japanese culture has been doing this for centuries.
Mhm.
It's what they do is eat until they're 80% full.
Oh,
They
okay.
eat slowly.
Mhm.
And so when they feel 80% full, they stop eating.
Mhm.
And when they do that, they're essentially restricting their calories.
Right.
And that's basically what's being suggested in this reverse aging strategy is just don't eat so much.
Mhm.
It's basically eating 2 meals a day instead of 3 meals a day. Like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm doing now is eating a meal at 12 p.m. and one at 6 p.m. And
Right.
that's all.
Yeah, so that's the pyramid is that started from the heavy and that's too low, right? But every man or I mean say the every family is become now the reverse things. Start first light, then heavy, heavy, heavy.
Yeah, and it really shouldn't be that way. It should be
Exactly.
more like the bigger meal in the early part of the day and a lighter meal in the
Exactly. Yeah,
later
agree.
part. Yeah,
Right.
and maybe you can have a little snack in between, but no, it's really about slowing down, eating
Yeah. Right.
less often, and less food.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to lose weight anyway.
I want to increase my weight.
No, you don't need to lose weight, but a lot of people do. A lot of Americans.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's a favorite thing, rapid fire. Okay, morning or night?
Morning
Smoothie or juice?
smoothie,
Meditation or journaling?
journaling,
Strength or cardio?
cardio,
Beach or mountains?
beach,
Sleep or exercise?
exercise.
Books or podcast? Say podcast.
Podcast. Here we are.
Tea or coffee? Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise,
Vegetables or fruits?
vegetables,
Spa day or hike?
hike,
Gratitude or affirmations?
gratitude,
Mental health or physical health?
mental,
Silence or music?
silence,
Solo workout or group class?
solo,
Water or coconut water?
water,
Laughter or meditation?
laughter,
Future or present?
present.
Excellent.
Did I pass?
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, Claire. It is really wonderful conversation with you today. And sorry about the different topics. I just wanted to share my thoughts.
No, I thought that was perfect. And I love the fact that you are teaching your daughter gratitude. I think that is a beautiful way to show her the meaning of one of the meanings of life.
Yeah, exactly. So yesterday that I read another book about how you manifest your thoughts and whatever you want to achieve, how that you want to manifest, right? Suppose if I want to a big YouTuber, then what are the thoughts that you come into your mind to manifest, right? So yesterday I read about same thing that I want to teach my daughters also, that in the future it will be helpful for her.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. Yeah, she'll learn how to create anything she wants.
exactly.
I think that's
She's
so
already
great.
creative mind, so that's why that some at the time of age when they are small, this is the right time to having a teach them to great going in the great path. Otherwise they're gonna mess around. They
Yeah,
know what is wrong, what is right. That's
yeah, she'll learn how to direct her thoughts and imagine and visualize what it is she wants.
Exactly.
And then she'll be so powerful.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so impressed with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
If
you,
you have any
Samir.
suggestions about my hosting, my questions, or anything that you having, just share it in your email or anything that you would like to have. Or if you have any guest who wants to share their thoughts, who wants to share their journey of their life, I'll definitely interview them.
No, I think you're very brilliant. Your questions are very powerful. Why is it that you are not putting your podcasts on Apple or
I
Spotify?
already in the Spotify. I already uploaded on the Spotify.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you should, be as your broadcast should be as wide as possible.
Yeah, I'm trying that one.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Samir. Good luck.
Take care.